talk about the best Medicare plan out there for you. So, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third business Social Security office in the country, and I've seen the results for a few decades of people choosing the wrong plan. They used to come to the Social Security office and said, "Hey, I'm having problems with my Medicare Part D plan or Medicare plan or whatever the case may be." And unfortunately, Social Security cannot help you with that. Social Security can help you with Part A and Part B, but everything else are controlled by private companies. So the Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare Supplements, Plan F, G, N, the Part D plan, all of that Social Security cannot help you with because those are private companies. And if you come into Social Security wanting a recommendation, they cannot talk about it. They're barred from talking about those private plans, giving any recommendations. But based on my decades of hearing the stories and then telling people, unfortunately, I can't make a recommendation, I am no longer with the Social Security Administration, so I can give you my recommendation. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here today, because we're in, particularly with the annual enrollment period, it began October 15th. It's going to end December 7th. So there's a lot of people out there that need to make a decision, need to review their plan, because this is the most chaotic Medicare season we've had in decades. Over 1.5 million, what have I seen different numbers, close to 2 million people are going to get their plans canceled right out. So if you have received a letter that your plan has been canceled, then you definitely need to find something else, or you're going to be stuck in January with all those extra costs. And there's a lot of people that have been what I call soft cancel, where their plans have been downgraded to such an extent, if they just read the fine print, they would immediately run and go look for another plan. So we're going to talk about that today. A lot of people do have different options because they have been canceled. So those people that have been canceled out of a Medicare Advantage plan, because your plan has been canceled, now you have the opportunity to return to regular old original Medicare and get a supplement, either a Plan F or a Plan G. So a lot of people out there are very happy that they've been canceled. All right, and this is also a live Q&A as well. I'm going to talk about my best plan. It should take about 10 minutes or so. And then I will open it up for questions. So if you have questions on Medicare, Medicare plans, retirement benefits, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, disability benefits, make sure you type your questions in the chat. Looks like we already got a bunch of questions in there. And let's go ahead and get into it. Number one is, these are the best plan types that I recommend. Individual plans within that, if it really depends on your particular area, and don't take other people's recommendations, your next door neighbor or mine. Each case is individual. So I'm just going to give you the outline of the top three plans that I would recommend looking at first for your particular situation. Number one is Medicare Supplement Plan N. Why Medicare Supplement? It's a Medicare Supplement. Medicare Supplement, you do not have prior authorizations. If the doctor says you need X, Y, or Z and Medicare covers it, you're good. You don't need to go ask an insurance company to get approval or delay and all that kind of stuff. If the doctor says you need it, then you're good. And you don't have networks. All Medicare supplements, they don't have networks. You can go to any doctor in the country that takes Medicare, and you don't have to worry about those ever-changing networks. Plan N is my first choice because I'm cheap. There's another plan. My second plan is Medicare Supplement Plan G. And so those are very, very close. If you go from an N to a G to an N, super, super close. These, whichever one is best for you. The reason I like N first is because, as I said, I am cheap. N, the monthly premium on an N is cheaper, normally across the board nationwide. And let me go ahead and throw let me see here. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, maximize. Okay, so Plan F, most people can't get a Plan F anymore, but if you can, it covers everything. Let me take this out of the way too. And Plan G covers everything except for the Part B deductible, which is $240 a year, annual deductible one time. So if you go to the doctor and you have a $1 million bill, you only pay $240. Same thing with a Plan N, you only pay the $240, but there's also these things called excess charges. So with Plan N, you have excess charges. It's basically some doctors, not very many, probably about 5, 6, 7% of doctors and clinics pay these, charge these excess charges. And basically, they can charge up to 15% above and beyond what Medicare charges. And the only other thing different about N is if you go to a doctor for kind of an initial consultation, you might pay up to $20. Most time I've heard it's about $14. If you go to an emergency room, you pay up to $50 unless you're admitted to the hospital right after that. So the reason I like N more is because the monthly premium on N nationwide is cheaper than a G. Like I said, I'm cheap and I like saving money on a monthly basis. If you go to the doctor a lot, on a, 1, 2 times a month, then maybe a Plan G would be the best for you because Plan N, it has that, the $20, in hospital and, emergency room and stuff like that. So if you go to the hospital a lot, probably a G would probably be best for you. But if not, then a Plan N is what I would recommend. Number one is go with that one. One of the problems is, okay, even if you pick a Plan N or a Plan G, then you pick the category. Now you have to pick the company, and there are many companies out there offering N and G and F and all the rest of it. And an N in one company is exactly the same, and another company G is the same. The only difference is price and the monthly premium now and projected price increases in the future. So you should definitely find someone that can help you out. If you have an old high school friend or relative that helps you with Medicare, then obviously you go to them. If you don't have anybody, you really need to find someone. And I'll put up the number of the organization that I have picked throughout the country. I've interviewed a lot of these free Medicare help organizations, and I narrowed it down to one, and I'm sending they're helping all my people, and you can read all through the comments that they're doing a phenomenal job so far. But so not all free medical help is equal. You have to make sure they review all the plans, give you all the prices, and not only for a Medicare supplement, you're not only looking for the cheap price, if you're like me, the most inexpensive, you're also looking for future projections. So what I see happening is, particularly with these small regional Medicare supplement plans, there's got this, East Texas firefighters Medicare supplement Plan G, and it's like the lowest price, in your area. It's usually kind of a loss leader. They're trying to get you in on that cheap price and then raise your prices. And, if you turn out to not to be healthy in the future, then you cannot switch. It's difficult to switch unless you get some type of special enrollment period. So I would recommend, a good, strong company, and you might pay a few dollars more, but it's the price increases over the future might be a little bit better for you. So I would definitely recommend that. And the company that I recommend, let me go ahead and put their information up there. Just go ahead and give them a call, and they can help you out find the best Medicare supplement. If you've been canceled, if you've got that cancel letter, you were in a Medicare Advantage plan and your plan was canceled, then you definitely need to find a plan, because if you don't, then you're going to be fully exposed to all the financial risks coming January. With a Medicare Supplement Plan, you can, every day of the year, you can switch if you're healthy. If you're in a G, and you want to find a cheaper G or switch to an N, if you're from an N, want to go to a G or a cheaper N, or whatever the case may be, if you're healthy or if you have some other special enrollment period, you can switch without underwriting. So you can reach out to Chapter and they can definitely help you out with all that. Okay. So, and another thing on Medicare supplements is the mistake I see, which I saw all the time at Social Security when I was working there, is people came in and the agent, broker, high school buddy that's doing Medicare now signed them up for a Medicare supplement, but did not sign them up for Part D plan. You have to have a Part D plan. The same time you sign up for Part B, as in boy, you also have to sign up for Part D. If you don't, then you get penalized 1% for every 12 months you did not have a Part D. So a Medicare supplement plan, you also have to get a standalone prescription drug plan. They are not included in the Medicare Supplement N, G, or F. You have to get a separate plan. And when you get a G or an N, usually most people, if they buy it right, then they have that plan for the rest of their lives, unless they want to, prices start going up 10 years from now. But with the Part D plan, those are the ones you have to keep up on a yearly basis. If you start taking medications that start getting expensive, then you need to see if there's a better Part D plan out there. All right. So in your particular case, one of the reasons people don't get, I think everybody should get a Medicare Supplement N or G. But the reason a lot of people don't is because N and G and F and all those have monthly premiums. And you're paying the Part B premium, the $174.70. And then you've got, your Part D, which, this year there was like some out there for $1 or something, but they're not going to be $1 this year. $20, $30, $40, whatever, your particular area for Part D. And then you have the Plan N, Plan G, monthly premium as well. So a lot of people cannot afford that, and it's not in their budget. So the next option is my third option, a Medicare Advantage plan. So if you just cannot afford, you don't have it in your budget to get a Plan N or a Plan G, maybe check out a high deductible of one of those. High deductible, cheaper monthly price, but you got to have some money in the bank to cover the high deductible. So Medicare Advantage plans are my third option, but they take a lot more work. Not a whole heck of an hour a year. So an hour a year right now in this particular time, the annual enrollment period, October 15th to December 7th, this is the time to check to see if you're in the best plan. To check now, particularly this year, to check to see if your plan has been canceled. You can call my partners at Chapter. They can see if your plan has been canceled. They can see if your plan has been downgraded to such an extent that you should cancel it rather than the insurance company. You should cancel them before they cancel you. Or if there's something just better. If your plan is, your plan is pretty good, but there's a new one out there that's got a whole bunch more benefits and save you on hospitals and save you on MRIs and CAT scans and doctors and all that stuff. So reach out to them and they can help you out. But Medicare Advantage, you just have to check once a year, review your plan to make sure you're in the best plan. And Medicare Advantage actually is my first choice more than a Medicare supplement plan for particular people. If you have Medicare and Medicaid, you pretty much you can't get a Medicare supplement anyway. So your option is a Medicare Advantage called a dual eligible plan. If you're a veteran that uses the VA medical most of the time, Medicare supplement, probably not for you, probably a Medicare Advantage that actually pays for part of your Part B premium. If you're a federal employee receiving benefits, Medicare supplement, no. TRICARE for life, Medicare supplement, no. Probably Medicare Advantage. So there's sometimes Medicare Advantage is the number one choice. But all things being equal, as they say in the dismal science of economics, Medicare supplement N, then G, and then Medicare Advantage. So you just go down the line and see what's best for you and look through all of the details. And that's the trick is Medicare insurance companies, they have their lawyers and they, write the fine print. So it's important that you have someone on your side to look at all the fine print as well. So, all right. I said that would take about 10 or 12 minutes. I'm a couple minutes over. So let's go ahead and get into all your questions. Let's see here. Let's see what we got first. Connie reached full retirement age in October, birthday February 3rd. Okay. I'm filling out retirement application. It says I can start benefits in October, November plus. I want the closest date. So if October is full retirement, can I start then? Yeah, October. Yes. Someone else responds about the first of the month. The Social Security doesn't have the first of the month or I want to retire at 15th of the month or anything like that. No, it's if you start your benefits in October, you start your benefits in October. However, your October check doesn't come until November. Social Security always pays a month late. So if you're, born on the 15th of October, then your check will come the third Wednesday of the month, because how it works is if you're born in the first 10 days of the month, your check comes on the second Wednesday. Second 10 days of the month, check comes on the third Wednesday, and then on and on till the fourth Wednesday. All right, Daisy, thanks for all your help with all the information. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. John, wife, age 62, application online this month, will work to 64, makes only 26K. Social Security will not approve and says put in suspend until April since over the 22,320. Can't she work and get lesser benefit with 2-for-1 holdback? No, they hold back the benefit. So, and they hold back the whole benefit. So if so you're a couple $1,000s over, so let's say you're $2,000 over. So they're going to hold back $1 for every $2 you go over. So they're going to hold back $1,000 worth of benefits. So if your benefits are, $499 a month, they're going to hold back 3 months, $499, and the entire check of March, because they can't hold back a partial month. If you're $1 over that other month, then they're going to hold back the entire check. So yeah, no, they can't do what you think they can do. No. What are the difference between F and G? So yeah, F covers everything, including the Part B deductible, the $240 deductible. So it covers all the gaps of original Medicare Part A and Part B. And again, but none of these Medicare supplement covers. They don't cover prescription drugs. You have to get a separate prescription drug plan. And they don't cover dental, vision, and hearing. So if you want dental or vision, then you'll have to find another company that does that. Again, most people today can't get an F. If your plan was recently canceled, your Medicare Advantage was canceled, then you're basically going back to original Medicare, and you have the right to get an F or a G depending on when you started your Part B. So yeah, so the G is kind of a replacement for the old F. Is the IRMA rate always based on earning? Oh, okay, IRMA. I was wondering what this IRMA is. Yeah, IRMMA, the income related monthly adjustment amount. Okay, so is that based on earnings 2 years ago, going forward from 65, or when taking Medicare? When taking Medicare. So if you're receiving disability at 55 years old, it's based on 2 years ago. So whatever is 2 years ago, that's what your IRMA rate is based on. And the IRMA, for those who don't know, if you're what's called a high income earner, then you will pay more for your Part B premium. Most people out there pay $174.70 unless you're low income and you get Medicaid to pay for it. But you're still paying $174, just that the state is paying for it. But in terms of high income earners, they could pay $100 more, $200, $300, $400 more for 1 year based on their earnings from 2 years ago. Whoops, here is the question. Does SSI eventually run out after years? No. SSI, if you're disabled, then it continues. And then SSI is a supplemental security income. It's a welfare-based program that Social Security administers. So you get it based on two things, one of two things. You get it based on disability. If you're disabled, again, welfare, so low income, low resources, disability, or aged 65. It's called SSI aged. So if you know somebody 65 and older that is receiving a very low Social Security check, under $943 or so, and don't have any other income or resources, tell them please to reach out to Social Security Administration and file for SSI. A lot of people are missing that and definitely need that help. So this is what this channel is all about, y'all being a community and helping people around you. If you're being charged the IRMA, filing jointly income, are they raising the price on Part B and D on both of you or just your spouse? So it's basically, yeah. So if you're both receiving Part B, it's $206,000 if you're married couple. So if you're single, it's $103,000, married, $206,000. Again, that's based on 2 years ago. Does Alzheimer's qualify for disability? If it, let me answer this. Obviously, a lot of people get Alzheimer's early in life, but most people are after their full retirement age. Not everybody, but for people after their full retirement age, nobody gets disability. So there's nobody in the country that is receiving disability after their full retirement age. Once they hit their full retirement age, their Social Security disability benefits switch to regular retirement benefits. So not sure how old your mother is, but yes, if she's under the full retirement age and that is keeping her from working, absolutely, I would definitely file. My son is approved for me, not for my spousal benefits. The phone call with them told me what my benefits would be. It updated mine, but not the spousal benefits. They said two checks. Is this? Yeah, I'm not sure. My social security. Oh, not your son. My that confused me. My social security number is approved. SS. Okay, you mean your social security benefits? Okay, SSN is social security number for anyway. Your Social Security is approved for me, not for my spousal benefits. The phone call with them told me what my benefits would be, updated mine, but not the spousal benefits. They said two checks. Is this true? Yeah, it's one check, but it's two different benefits um, because you filed for benefits on your own record, and then you filed another application for spousal benefits on another record. So they're actually two different benefits. There's a retirement benefit and spousal benefit. Retirement on your Social Security and spousal benefits on your spouse's Social Security number. So they're two checks, yes, technically, but they come as one. And sometimes the Social Security employee goes ahead and adjudicates your claim, start your benefits, and then the next day when your what's called the MBR, the master beneficiary record, sets up, I'm teaching you all the sausage, how it's being made here. And then the next day they do the spouse benefit. So, yep, that's pretty normal. I would like to know how long it takes for Social Security to remove my offset. I was on federal OWCP and I'm on SSDI. I'm no longer receiving that. Yeah, if you've already provided that proof that you're not receiving that anymore, yeah, it takes a little while. It's not anything that can be done at the local office, district office. Those are usually done by the regional processing centers. And just like every other office in the country, the regional processing centers are way understaffed. And yeah, so it's going to probably take a while. But if they determine that you shouldn't have been offset 2 months ago, then they will do the calculation and give you, your money 2 months ago, you know. So they'll give you that back pay. So it takes. So this is another time for me to tell y'all to reach out to your political representative and tell them that Social Security customer service sucks. And the reason it does is because that's what politicians want. They want it to be terrible so you can complain and then they can justify giving it over to Wall Street and so they can take it to Las Vegas and gamble with your retirement. So anyway, that's my personal opinion. That and $8 will get you a coffee at Starbucks. How hard to get Social Security disability with dementia? Yeah, just like everything else, it's a process. I've done a few videos on tips, tricks, and secrets on how to file for disability. Little insider tips on how to do it. But if you have you or someone you know have disability issues, then absolutely file. Social Security defines disability as the inability to work, and your disability has to last 12 months or longer or end in death. Let's see another question. It looks like a tax question, but let's see. How do you get old tax returns if you suspect a mistake on your Social Security reporting years ago? Yeah, then you can go down and you go down to the IRS. There's also you can go online. You get a transcript from the IRS that tells you what earnings you had at those particular years, and then take those down to the Social Security Administration. And hopefully, what happens if you had like you look at your earnings record, which I recommend everybody look at their earnings record with Social Security because that's how they determine your benefit amount. You look at your earnings record, and if you see a missing year, then hopefully what it was is just somebody typed in your Social Security number incorrectly somewhere along the way. And those earnings are sitting in what Social Security calls a suspense file. They're just sitting there waiting for someone to raise their hand and say, hey, those are my earnings. I work for that company. Here's my kind of proof. And yeah, they'll fix it up. Why does it take so long to get disability? Yeah, because everybody is completely understaffed. And again, I would argue that's a conscious decision by politicians to deteriorate Social Security, deteriorate the trust in Social Security so they can do with it what they want. So I say we don't follow. I say we do not fall for their tricks, and we support Social Security and make sure customer service gets better. Oh, okay, I've already answered that one. Let's see here. I plan to retire February 2025. My full retirement age will be reached December 25. I will receive my last paycheck on February 10th. Will it affect my retirement in any way? Unless your final check is a few $100,000, then no, you can. If you hit your full retirement age next year, the limit is not the 23,000 dollars. It's the next year is what, 62,000 dollars that you can make in the months before you hit your full retirement age. So for basically January to November, um, you can make what's it's a 62,000. Um, so yeah, if you want to go ahead and start your benefits in January, then you're good. Will it affect your retirement anyway? It could increase your benefits, because if you worked last year and that's one of your high 35 years of earnings, then it will increase your benefits even more. So I would definitely check to see if you want to start your benefits in January. If you want to wait till February for whatever reason, but unless you make $60,000 in January, then yeah, I would probably file in January. I'd definitely think about it. Will Social Security release information to an attorney for someone that is behind in alimony payments? I- if they have a court order, if Social Security receives a court order to do something, then Social Security has to abide by a court order. But if an attorney asks something, no, they have to go to court. Um, so let's see. But usually how that happens for alimony payments is the person goes to the court, the ex-spouse, they go to the court, file for alimony payments, file for child support, whatever it is, and then the court sends that garnishment directly to Social Security. You can't take that garnishment and go down to Social Security, because we've had this in my office where people have done that, and we already had the garnishment from the court directly, and then the person brought it in and the person changed it and added a few $100s. And so, yeah, nice try. So, yeah, Social Security doesn't accept, you know, alimony and all that kind of stuff from attorneys and you or anybody. It has to come directly from the court and a garnishment. I have a yes, please press and all that good stuff. Yes, please. That's how this information gets out there. A lot of people aren't receiving the benefits they're entitled to, so we need your help. Is it my new employer's choice to deny me the right to have Medicare at 65 and keep working to have their medical insurance too? No, if you want Medicare at 65, then you can get Medicare at 65. No. If some health insurance companies, private, companies, in order to save money, they make you sign up for Part B at 65. Others don't. Some because you don't have to sign up for Part B. You can sign up for Part A if you want. That's zero premium. But Part B, a lot of people don't want to sign up for that because it's $174.70, and they're already receiving health insurance from work, which is fine. But your employer has to have 20 or more employees. It has to be through current work, not a retirement plan, not the Affordable Care Act, not COBRA. It has to be through current work, yours or your spouse's. Okay. So current work, 20 or more employees. And if your health insurance company is saying, yeah, you have health insurance through us, but you have to sign up for Part B in order to continue to receive it, then they might make you. Or usually what the case is they're not credible coverage. That was a big problem this year in Part D. Medicare kind of jumped in there and kind of resolved that a little bit, but sometimes your company health insurance is not very good, and Medicare doesn't consider it credible coverage. If that's the case, then you'll receive a letter from your health insurance company that says, "Hey, our plans suck. It doesn't meet the minimum requirement, so you have to sign up for Part B." So can I have both at the same time? Yeah, yeah. If you want, some people do that. Particularly Part A. I would recommend, a lot of people do, is if you have health insurance from work, and particularly if your deductible for hospital is over, $1,700, $3,000 or something, get Part A, because the deductible for Part A of Medicare is, well, this year is 1632, 1,632. So if your health insurance from work deductible is $3,000 and you go to the hospital, you have to pay $3,000. But if you have Part A, it covers it. So, and it's zero premium. It's not free because you paid for it all your life. But anyway. If you started early Social Security retirement benefits at 62, can you stop it at FRA and start it back again at age 70? All right. Someone has done their homework. You can absolutely do that. It's difficult to do because when you walk into the Social Security Administration and ask that, I would guarantee you that 95% of the people don't know you can do that. But yeah, it's called voluntary delayed retirement credit. So you get your benefits up until your full retirement age, and then you say, "Wow, 8% per year. That's pretty good return on my investment." So from 67 to 70, that's 3 years. So you can increase your benefit amount by 24%. So yeah, not many people do that. I think that's why Social Security employees don't really are not very familiar with it. But yeah, it is 100% possible. And if you're going to do that, I would highly recommend that you take the let's see, you take the reference down there, and show them, because particularly the people at the front windows that are not experts, they're just generalists. They won't know what you're talking about, and they'll send you away. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and post the reference. It's called VDRCs, Voluntary Delayed Retirement Credit. So I just posted it down there. So if you're interested in doing that, then print that off and you go down there and say, yeah, I want to stop my benefits. And when they say you can't do that, then you hand it over and they will look all sheepish and all that kind of stuff. Have the amounts for 2025 IRMA been announced? No, not yet. The Part B hasn't been announced yet. Social Security already did all their announcements on COLA and the substantial gainful activity and annual earnings limit and monthly and all that kind of good stuff. And I did a video on that about a week or so ago. But nothing from Medicare yet. That should come out here sooner rather than later. I took your advice and got a Medicare Advantage company trying to get me to switch from my Plan G. Who do I report them to? They call the company. Yeah. Yeah. Number one is, as of October 1st, these companies are not supposed to be calling you unless you ask them to call. Prior to October 1st, if you push the Facebook, button and says, "Hey, I'm interested in this," and somebody calls you up and you're like, "Oh, I'm not interested in what you got," they sell your information to everybody and their mother in the country, and everybody calls you. Starting October 1st, you can't do that. If you tell company or person A to call you, that person calls you, and that's it. Nobody else is supposed to call you. That's why I like Chapter Medicare. If you don't call them or call me, or if you call the my 888 number there, where is it? Okay, I'm terrible at YouTube. 888 number there and press 1, you can be directly contacted with them. But yeah, if you don't call us first, then we don't call you. But yeah, so that might be an issue with, they're not supposed to be calling you because you didn't tell them to call you. But in terms of, switching you from a Plan G, one of the things that when you have a Medicare supplement plan, if you're able to get it and it's in your budget and everything, then awesome. But you also have to sign up for a Part D plan. And here's a caution. When you sign up for a Part D plan, you're signing up usually with another company. And now that company you're a client of that company. So that company has permission to call you. And maybe that company not only does Part D, they probably almost always do Medicare Advantage. So they will call you up because you're your client. They're allowed to, and they'll say, "Hey, how's your Part D?" And yada yada. "Oh, by the way, did you know we've got this new plan in your area? It's got all this dental and vision and gym membership and stuff like that." And then 30 minutes later, it turns out you've been switched to a Medicare Advantage plan and you lost your Plan G or your Plan N. I see that happening way, way, way too often. So Ed is yeah, is all us eds are really on top of that kind of stuff, right? So yes, you can. I didn't even get to your question, did I? Sorry about that. Yeah, Medicare, the Medicare hotline, or you can call whatever company they recommended. Call that company, yeah, and say, hey, I just want to let you know that people that represent you are not doing you right. So my mom has been. Oh, question here. My security since 62 years old and is now 82. She was divorced from dad and he is since deceased. Can she collect under his social security? I would definitely have her check that out. Um, so her benefits would have to be less than his. So if she was married to anybody for 10 years or longer, or married to that person when they passed away, if as long as the marriage was 9 months, there's a few exceptions there. But yes, I would tell her to call the 800 number immediately, if not sooner, 800-772-1213, and give them your father's social security number. If she doesn't have it, no problem. Just the name, date of birth, where he was born, city and state, and they should be able they'll be able to find it. And if there's any more money there, then absolutely. Um, and I'm going to do a video on this pretty soon, but I'll give you a kind of heads up. There is a policy where if she wasn't notified of the passing or something like that, she might be able to get 12 months of retroactive benefits. um, so if there is any extra money there, she has to file a claim, set up an appointment to file the claim and everything. And then when you're filing the claim, say, hey, if he passed away 12 months ago or earlier, then she might be entitled to those 12 months of back pay. So I would definitely ask them for that. What has changed for the Advantage Plans PPO for 2025? It really depends on your particular area. Throughout the country, a lot. This is the most chaotic, um, annual enrollment period in decades, since probably day one. Um, a lot of things have changed because of the prescription drug component. There's a lot of law changes. Went from max out of pocket to 8,000. Next year it's going to be 2,000. So these companies are scrambling to find money other ways. So they're changing stuff under the hood. So if you look at your plan this year and it's got like $100 if you go to the doctor, if you go to a hospital per night, next year it might be $300. If you get an MRI this year, it's $50. Next year it's $300. So there's a lot of stuff in the fine print. They usually don't change the monthly premium, because that's a red flag and you'll immediately, go shopping for something else. These companies, they're hoping you don't review your plans, but we're smarter than that. So yeah, a lot of people are getting canceled, downgraded, and so you'd really need to check. My husband is 64 on Medicare due to disability. Can he get a supplement when he turns 65? Yes, Lady Boomer. Yes, there we go. So in most states, people that want to get Medicare supplements can't, because their state insurance agency, we need to change this. Contact your state representative, because insurance like this is regulated by the state, and say, hey, how come y'all discriminate against people under their own disability? Because if you're under 65, the insurance companies don't want to give you a Medicare supplement because you're on disability. It's going to cost them a lot of money. So they've convinced your politicians in your state not to make them. But when you're 65, then they have to give you a plan. They can't charge you necessarily any extra. They can't, there's no health underwriting, no prior pre-existing conditions. So when you hit 65 years old, you're in that second golden window where you can get whatever you want. So yes, check out Medicare to see if a Medicare supplement is the best. And if you're on disability, if you go to the doctor a lot, then I would switch my list and put Medicare Part G as the top. Or, again, it really depends on your particular situation. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Yes, Social Security customer service does suck. Yes, it does. And again, it's not Social Security's fault. It's the politicians that fund Social Security. And they know very well, you know, why they want it to suck, is because they want you to be completely disappointed and hate Social Security, and not trust the future of Social Security, and they got you. That's their plan. I did a video on that a few months ago. I had the blueprint there. I've got the blueprint around here somewhere of exactly that strategy, and their strategy seems to be working. Chapter was supposed to call me today for an appointment to update and make sure okay, still had the best Medicare plan. I never heard from them. So what do I do? So somebody, chapter, it's still what, 3:30 or so on the West Coast. So if they don't call you today, email me. Um, Email me at ed@mygovexpert.com and say, hey, this is Kimberly, and chapter was supposed to give me a call back, and I will reach out to them and make sure they give you a call back. But it's still, unless you're East Coast, hopefully, yeah, they're working 7 days a week now, and got to what, 9 o'clock at night or something. Yeah, they're doing crazy hours because there's so many people that need to review their plans this year. All right, let's see what other questions we got on this other thing here. If you apply for disability and you get approved, 5 months later, do you get back pay? So basically, the 5 months. It sounds like you're talking about that. There's a 5 month waiting period when you get disability. So nobody gets paid the first 5 months when they're approved for Social Security disability insurance. If they approve your benefits, back to a year ago, then you still don't get the first 5 months, but you get everything since then. Yes. My alimony was just lowered because of my measly Social Security. Yeah. Well, that's and yeah, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. But here's something that a lot of people out there are missing. That they were tricked by their ex-spouses and their ex-spouses' attorneys. There's a lot of people out there that got divorced, and they're entitled to benefits on that ex-spouse's benefits, on that ex-spouse's record, but they're not getting it because in the divorce decree, it says, you can't get my Social Security. And that means nothing to Social Security. I've done hundreds of thousands of divorced spouse benefits, and when Social Security requests your marriage certificate and divorce decree, they look at the names and the date you were married and the date you were divorced, and they don't look at anything else. They don't look down there and says, oh, looks like you signed away your Social Security rights. That means nothing to Social Security. So please, if you know anybody out there that needs help and says, oh yeah, I can't get his or hers Social Security because I signed it away in the divorce, then you just say that's all BS. So, and you go out there and help them get their money. All right. Let's see. Mom, dad divorced, special needs son, applied for SSI, child support trust, when parent, yeah, sorry, I'm not understanding the question there. But yeah, if, SSI, that's the welfare-based benefit. Nobody, so a child that became disabled before the age of 22 years old can get benefits on their parent's record once their parent received retirement or disability benefits. If a parent is not receiving it and the child is disabled, then they can apply for SSI, which is the welfare-based benefit. What is the process for Medicare when I retire with a state employee retirement health plan? So, yeah, so it really depends on that state employee retirement health plan. Sometimes, again, they'd like to save money by moving costs over to the federal government. So sometimes they will make you sign up for Medicare Part A or Part B or both of those. But if the plan is provided by your state and it's good and you like it and it's not too expensive, then, you might not even have to sign up for Medicare. Usually you do. But in terms of anything else like a Medicare plan, a Medicare Advantage, or a Medicare Supplement, usually not, but it really depends on your particular situation. Let's see. Get some. All right. Jennifer, do I need to be at full retirement age to receive ex-spouse benefits? It's reduced if I apply at 62. Correct. Yes. Anytime you take money from Social Security early, yes, it's reduced every month. you take that early. So you do not need to be full retirement age to receive ex-spouse benefits. You can start those at 62, unless your ex-spouse is deceased. Then you can start them at 60 years old. But you have to file for benefits on your own record first. So as soon as you file for benefits on your own record, you also have to file for benefits on your ex-spouse. Let's see here. Oh, Kimberly. Oh, your appointment was 1:30. Oh, it's way past 1:30. I apologize. I'll yeah, send me an email and I'll send it to my contact there at Chapter. And yeah, I apologize. It's something, yeah, this is 100% perfect reviews, but this is the one. Wow. So yeah, let's get that fixed. Yeah, please send me an email to the ed@mygovexpert.com and I will get on that right after I finish the live here in another 15 minutes. Upon hiring, I had to check a box. I didn't have any other health insurance with new company. Does that mean I can't have a second insurance in the new job? Yeah, you need to reach out to them and see what they're talking about, what they're trying to do to save money and everything. So yeah, I don't want to speak for their policies. I have my representative's number and will be calling the tele. Perfect. Awesome. Let's see. Will there be many extra changes for different medical services with the changes of 2025 for Medicare? How can I find a list of these changes? Medicare themselves, obviously the Part D has went from 8,000 to 2,000, but in terms of medical services, um, for next year, I did a video on this about a month or so ago about the new services from Medicare itself. They started accepting family therapists and marriage counselors and stuff like that. They're able to pay those people nowadays. So, in terms of medical services, what I recommend is there is actually an app which is awesome. You go to Medicare.gov or the Play Store, or Apple Store, or whatever the case may be. And make sure you do the official Medicare.gov application, and you download it, and it's awesome. And you just put down there, you know, foot surgery or knee replacement, and it tells you if it's covered and all the details. So yeah, that's an awesome thing. So Medicare's, yeah, that app is very good. So good on you, Medicare. Can you draw off of your ex-husband's SSI and still work your full-time job? Marrying 20. Okay, SSI is the welfare-based program, and so that doesn't, you mean just regular Social Security. Can you draw off your ex-husband's Social Security and still work your full-time job? If your full-time job is under $23,000 or so, yes. But if you make over that, then you pay $1 for every $2 you go over if you're under your full retirement age. All right, let's see. Daisy, I received a denied that it is contradictory due to say that I have different limitations but can continue working and the deduction is not to say, okay, I'm not sure what that means. So you were denied disability. If you were denied the initial stage, then you need to file a reconsideration. It's an SSA 561. It's super easy to fill out. Takes you 10 minutes. And you say, I disagree with your decision based on whatever. So and the SSA 561, and it's very small space to include what you're going to write in there. So if you want to add something else, just write it on a piece of paper, preferably type it so that you can read it. And then just put on the 561C attached and then submit it. Let's see. I have Medicare and TRICARE for life. Am I limited to what pharmacies I can use? Keep up the great work. Yeah, that would be a TRICARE for life type of thing. But yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of people being limited to pharmacies. The VA is always the best because the Veterans Administration can actually negotiate with pharmaceutical companies. Go figure. But Medicare couldn't forever. Yeah, that always made no sense whatsoever. But now, well, the pharmaceutical companies, they spend millions of dollars every year making sure politicians pass laws that are benefit them. But anyway, but now Medicare can negotiate. Started this year. They got the first 10 medications. Unfortunately, it doesn't start till next year. But anyway, um, today is Nevada Day, so maybe some people are not working today. Yes, Nevada Day. Yes, it was what, October 31st, I think 1964, 65, battle born during the yes, the Civil War there. Yeah, actually, Nevada didn't have a population, but Abraham Lincoln needed the vote, so he allowed Nevada to become a state so they could vote for him. And but he won it in a landslide. He didn't need the votes. But anyway, so that's anyway a little history you didn't want to know. Will they reimburse for services not used for the year? Will there be reimbursement for unused services? Will I'm not sure who they are. Um, yeah, if you're talking about okay, here's let me answer it this way. If you have, let's say, a Medicare Advantage plan, and you have 4,000, let's say $2,000 in your dental, and you don't use it, then December 31st, it all goes poof, it goes by. If you have vision, it goes poof, goes by December 31st at midnight, like Cinderella. So that's why I always tell people make sure you get all those benefits before the end of the year because they go away. And next year, yeah, it's if you got $3,000 this year, you're probably not going to get $3,000 next year because a lot of these are downgrading. But you might, and if you find another company there. So does the interest income or rental income count towards the 22K you can earn when you're under your full retirement age? No, it does not, unless, as I always say with everything Social Security and government, there's exceptions, the exceptions, exceptions. If that is your business and your business is buying and selling houses, or your business is you got basically a hotel or a bunch of houses and stuff like that, if that is considered your business, then yes, just like people always ask me, if I won a bunch of money gambling, does that count? No, unless you are a professional gambler and that's your job, that's your business, is to be a gambler. So, but in your case, you're probably interest income, no. Rental income, again, if that's a business, you've got a whole bunch of houses and stuff. It really depends on how you file your taxes, but 99% of the time, it's probably the same situation for you. No, it does not count. It's not considered work, wages, net income from business type thing. Yeah, W-2 income counts. Yes, wages, those are super, super easy. But when you're self-employed, yeah. So in your case, probably not. But I would reach out to, yeah, it depends how you file your taxes, but probably not. We only have 75 out of 202 who like the video. Will you please click the button? So yes, YouTube algorithm. Yeah, this is, I don't do it for myself, although I kind of like the ego boost when I get more followers and stuff like that. But anyway, it's more for teaching the algorithm that this information needs to get out there. There's not enough, there's too many people not getting the benefits they're entitled to. All right. Let me see if I missed anything. So it's just because it's not updated online, I should not worry. It will be updated before the first check. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what we're talking about there. Let's see. All right, I think we went through pretty much all the questions, so we'll call it a day here. I will be back again tomorrow with another video in case you have any friends or family, anybody that needs help.